Hey guys, Nick from Joki Vape. Today I'm going to show you how we wrap our coils here at Joki Vape. Alright, so everything we're going to use here is an ohm reader. We got our 28 gauge Canthal, an organic cotton ball. We have our screwdrivers, our Phillips head, and then our 1.4 millimeter flathead screwdriver. Got a pair of tweezers, our cutters, our atomizer, and our mod. Alright, let's take it up close and I'll show you how to wrap it. Alright, we're going to start out and take our atomizer here, put it on our ohm reader. Let's move this out of the way. Put that nice and snug. We're going to take 28 gauge Canthal. Take about a foot of it or so. We'll take our wires and cut it right there. Set that aside. Gonna trim this in about half, so that way we got 2 equal pieces of Canthal. We're gonna take our 1.4 millimeter screwdriver and take one piece of our Canthal. Trap one end down under your finger. Take this end, start wrapping like that. Now I prefer to get them as close as possible and as tight as you can get them. Alright. See there, you can barely see it. Let me take it off there for you. You can see the tiny coil there. Sorry, it's blurry. So that's essentially what your coil should look like. Alright. Now it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wraps. So you're going to take your other piece of Canthal and do the exact same thing with the exact same amount of wraps. So you're going to take your screwdriver, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wraps. Alright. So now that we got our 2 coils, we're just going to take them and compress them and make sure that all of the wraps are touching each other. This is terribly blurry. Let's see if I can... Yeah, it's not going to get any better. But that's what you're going for. You want them to be nice and close. Almost want it to look as if it's a solid piece of metal. See, no gaps through it. So then once we get those coils wrapped and ready, we're going to take one lead and clip it just a little bit shorter than the other. Okay. This is when we're going to take our atomizer. Let's see if we can get a good angle on this. Gonna open up our leads. You want to back them all the way up until they come out, or just before they come out rather. Alright, we're going to take our one coil, and I like to do the part that comes out on top. I like to do that one through the center. So we're going to take our longer leg and slip it through the outside, feed the center through. Make sure that you don't hit the well on the other side. Get it in there nice and close as you can. Trap it with your thumb. Go ahead and tighten down your leads. You just want to get it tight where you can feel that it's snug. You don't want to tighten it down all the way until it breaks. It's sitting in there. Sitting in there nice and even. Now we're going to turn it around, take our other coil, and do the exact same thing. We're going to clip one leg a little bit shorter. Take our longer leg, slip it through the outside here. There we go, slip it through the outside and get your middle leg through there. Wiggle it in there, make sure it clears. You're going to get it nice and close. Trap the outside leg. Bend them out of the way. Make sure that your coil's positioned correctly. And then we're going to go ahead and tighten down your center leg. Okay, nice and snug. Now at this point you're just going to adjust your coils. Make sure they're sitting in there nice and straight. Wiggle that through and kind of even them back out. So now they're nice and even. We're going to take our clippers, clip our extra leads down to the post. You want to make sure you don't get the leads touching the coil on the other side or touching the wall, otherwise that's going to cause a short and a hot spot and it won't vape correctly. Hands all in the way there. Alright, so that's our dual coil. This one's reading a 0.44. It's pretty low sub-ohm. We're gonna mess around with it and compress our coils now and make sure that we got them as close as we can. Kind of make sure they're angled correctly. So we got a little extra jump there in the resistance. Yep. Alright, now we're going to end up at about 0.51, 0.5. That's what we're going to aim for here. Alright, so since we got our coils as neat as we can get them for now without heating them up, we're going to take them off our ohm reader. Now, this is sub-ohm, so I'm going to recommend you use a safe battery. Let's see, in here I have the Sony 21 milliamp hour 18650 with a 30 amp draw rate. I recommend these, or we would recommend these for most sub-ohmers because this is going to be one of your safest batteries out there for sub-ohming with the highest draw amp rating. Other batteries can fire a 0.5 ohm. I just would recommend you do your research before you go sub-ohming. And if you don't know what sub-ohming is, or sub-ohms, or ohm for that matter, or even what kind of battery you have, I would recommend trying a single coil first. Try to get something, if you have an ohm reader like this, make sure it reads a 1, a 0.8 at the lowest if you don't know what kind of battery you have. And that's going to be a real big, important topic. Alright, so now we're going to give it a few, make sure it's on there. Alright, so we're going to give it a few test fires, make sure it lights up. I know it's going to be kind of hard to see on there, but you want them to glow evenly from the middle out. I'm sorry for the video quality. Promise it will get better. You're just going to compress each side. After you light them up, you want to make sure that they light up evenly from the middle out at the exact same time. And that's what it should look like. Let's give it a few burst fires, let them cool down, and then we'll move on to wicking. Alright guys, so as far as wicking goes for this, let me see if I can get a little better angle here. As far as wicking goes, you're going to take your two little coils here. This is really hard to see on. But we're going to take organic cotton ball, and we're going to unthread some here. A nice thin strand. You want it to be about that thin. About that. And we're going to take it, start at one end, pinch it, and start twisting. And that's going to make it nice and spun together and thinner, and it's going to allow it to get in there a little bit better. Now, I recommend taking your one end that you started off of and clipping it down, because the straggler hairs will get caught on the coil and it won't work properly. Alright, so we're going to take our side that has more room on it, start threading from that side over. We're going to pull it through and spin it as we pull it through, and it'll look like that. Like that. We'll just clip one end off. There you go, and then we have a nice little strand that we can fold under itself. And I like to do this. I like to fold them back and forth, tuck it under. Just keep doing that until you are all out of wick. Now the reason I like to stuff it under and not over, as some people do, is because I've found that it kind of chokes the coil out if you get too much cotton above and below it, and your air won't rush over it correctly. Alright, so that's one side complete. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're just going to take a nice little strip, separate it. Start at one end, start twisting it into a point. Alright, we're going to do the same exact thing. Twist and pull it through. Got it in there nice and good. Take off our excess. Fold it under itself. Now, same way you get the identical coils, you want to try to get the wick to be identical on each side, just so you know that they're going to dry up or they're going to hold the same amount of juice on each side. That way you don't get half a burnt flavor hit and half a juice flavor hit. Alright, so that's what it looks like when it's all stuffed up with cotton. Let me go grab some juice and we'll saturate it and get going. Alright, so wicking it is all done. Now you're ready for your juice. And if you're using cotton, you don't want to test fire it or burn it while you got nothing in there, because the cotton will light on fire, or it'll singe or burn, and it'll just give you a terrible burnt cotton flavor always. So I'm just going to take our juice, and this is Heaven Nectar by Joki Juice, which is a good peach melon mixture, a nice fruity honeydew flavor almost. Alright, we're just going to make sure that our coils are all saturated. And when they are completely saturated, you'll see it'll look almost transparent, or whatever color of vapor you're using. And it fires. Alright, let's throw a cap on it, and we'll back the camera away and see how it vapes. Alright guys, so we got our coils all built and saturated. We're going to take our cap on here and line up the air holes with the coils. Unlock our wad, give it a vape. See, these coils are real good for cloud and flavor. They're going to be the most well-rounded coils that you can find, or at least that I have found, and that's why I like to do them here for the people that come into our shop. And at 0.5 of an ohm, it's going to be a nice low sub-ohm, so you get a big cloud, big heat, big flavor, and it should be a nice middle ground number, so that most of your high drain 18650s, maybe a few high drain 18500s, should be able to fire this safely. Like I said, I really do recommend the Sony 18650 or AW 18650 at least, or even an E-Fest, or a Panasonic, or anything with a higher drain rate will be safer to use with this. Alright guys, once again, this is Nick from Joki Vape. Thanks for watching.